Hello and welcome to a new Flight Simulator video. Today I just want to talk about a few things that Flight Simulator needs, in my opinion, to maybe have a couple of extra nice features to have. Now, this isn't an expansive list by any means, however, first one I'd like to go over is career. Maybe not specifically career in itself, but maybe a specific part of career that I think would benefit from a few extra things, so to speak. So, what do I think would be better? More specialisations. Now, I do think that these will come as time goes on. You know, we already have things like I've still to unlock agricultural aviation, charter service, aerial firefighting, extended attack, for example, and transport, which are still locked and not available in the game yet. But I think certain things, like for helicopters, for example, you know, you've got search and rescue, where you need to land in an area, which in itself, yeah, that sounds okay, but you can't actually like use your hoist, for example, to rescue people. And then you've got search and rescue with a hoist, which is, well, by the looks of it, it just seems to be at sea. So maybe some specializations towards using the helicopter to rescue people on land with a hoist, for example. And I know that they were talking about it in one of the developer briefings recently, where they've been working with like the Coast Guard, and different companies like the firefighting Canadair people. I can't remember what the name of that company is, but it's something like that anyway. To try and flesh those things out a bit more and try and bring a bit more realism to those jobs. So I think that would be one thing that I definitely look forward to seeing more, and just in general some more variety, because a lot of the specializations like first flight, ferry flight, flight seeing, they're all very, very similar. Then when you get down to things such as, let me get to it. Why can't I see it? Oh, it's because it's not a specialisation. But you've got things like the scientific research. It's just flight seeing, but with a slightly different flavour to it. I'd like to see something like completely different from what we have currently. Maybe flight seeing could be, you know, like some actual landmarks rather than, you know, Safeway or Walmart, for example. You know, those things that people really want to see from there. Okay, and another thing I would like to see a little bit more of is for your identity. Now, this little guy over here looks kind of weird. I'm not really a fan of the face, but I think it was probably one of the best ones I could see. The one thing that is really missing from this, and it's something that they talked about it in one of the briefings recently, it's the voice. Like these voices.
The sky is calling.
Yep.
Jumpmaster, ready to drop off our skydivers.
Like, they're all right. They're all right. But what happened to using your own voice? That was one of the things I was really excited about for this. And I don't think I ever really covered that before. But it was one of the things that I wanted the most. And it was in the technical alpha, but it never worked. And I had high hopes that it was going to be in the full release. But there was never anything talked about before. It never said, look, it's not ready, you know, we're not quite there yet. That would have been fine. We were met with silence. But, look, I get it, it's not a huge thing. It's probably slipped, you know, behind all the other issues that have happened since the sim release. So that's understandable, I can appreciate that. But just please, please, please bring it back, because it will be so fun. Just making your own impact in the sim, being able to hear yourself talking to the ATC, I think that'd be really cool and I'd love to see it. Okay, the next thing I would like to talk about is the activities. So there's lots of nice little things like rally race, low altitude flying, landing challenges, Red Bull Air race that's not yet, and the National Championship Air races, which is not in yet either. And we don't know when that's going to happen. But also, the Challenge League. All of these things, they're pointless right now. Like, all you get is on a leaderboard, you get nothing for it. Why don't we have, like, whoever wins, whoever's the top rated person in the week wins, like, a small prize. Like, maybe a livery for an aircraft, or it could be, like, one of the really cheap marketplace aircraft. Or it could just be a livery that's created for the purposes of the Challenge League. If you win whatever the challenge is for that week, say it's F-18, you get a skin for the F-18 that you can use. Or if you're X number within the ratings, you know, the top 10% or the top 20% or something like that, maybe you get the skin, or maybe you get some sort of thing to customize it, make it your own, and you can show that off online. That would be quite exciting, and it gives people something to work towards. And then maybe for the helicopter, you know, you get a nice new skin for the helicopter. Something like that. Some sort of progression within these types of things might help to flesh them out a little bit more. World Photographer. As you can see, I have not done a lot. I have photographed the pyramids of Giza, or the Sphinx, with the sun. And that's as much as I've bothered to really do with it. I gave it a try, and look at all these exciting things that you can do, and find, and look at, and take pictures of. I think it's a great idea, to be honest. I'm just really not that interested in it. Now, how could I get myself interested in taking pictures in the sim? Well, what about when the game is loading, or when you are loading into your free flight or your career mission or something like that, you can choose to display some of the pictures that you've taken. It's a simple thing, and maybe it'll just give that little bit of a purpose towards actually taking these pictures, and then you've got a use for them. I think that would be quite easy to implement, and just a little thing that makes the sim customized to you again. I don't know. I like the idea of it. I might use it a bit more if that was the case. Whoa, what is happening here? What is this? Okay, I understand what happened there. Okay, now that craziness is over. Now, this, I guess, is just a demonstration. It's not really anything in particular. Now, I can't see this other aircraft, which is quite annoying. However, it sounds pretty cool flying past them. Okay, so I'm not really sure exactly how this demonstration on the screen was going to do very much towards this, considering I'm also flying a single-engine aircraft. But it was just a quick thought I had, right? But what the main purpose of me doing this right now is, well, to test that Sim Update 16 or whatever it is that I'm using is working properly, and also to talk about shared cockpit. We'll go back in the aircraft so that it's less noisy. Now, shared cockpit is something that I have missed ever since it was removed from, well, basically when Flight Simulator 2020 was released. Now, Flight Simulator 10 had shared cockpit, and I had a lot of fun flying with my friends anywhere we wanted. We would, you know, set ourselves up in an A380 or whatever it was in Flight Sim 10 that I can't remember. And we would go and do flights, we would cooperate together, and that has just been something that's been completely missing since 2020 came out. Now, there was a mod that worked for it, and it worked to some degree, not particularly well. There was a lot of ghosting issues, and I didn't really try it much after You know, well, I tried it a few times and it just didn't really work all that well. That's really annoying that that aircraft is invisible. Let's fly away from that. We'll maybe go from the outside again. Yeah, so I think, how much fun could that bring to this sim? Now, I know they've talked about it. I know they have like a in-development sort of beta version that they've been using, and that they're trying to get it working properly, but it is such an amazing feature that is completely missing from this sim. And it was talked about, and it was in all of the roadmaps for Flight Simulator 2020, and it just never happened. And I get that it's not easy to get that coded into it, clearly, because if it was easy, it would be done. Is it a priority for them? Probably not. There's a lot of other things that need to be done first. But could you imagine how much more fun this sim would be if you're able to fly some aircraft with your friends? I mean, let alone being able to just, you know, turn their engines off for them whilst they're flying a helicopter or something, for example. That's pretty fun too. So yeah, it's a really, really huge thing that's missing for me, and I personally can't wait for that to be released. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think that there are other features that are really missing from the sim? Things that you really think would bring a new life to the sim, that would bring some more fun and enjoyable experiences? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next time. And hopefully I'll be able to release more videos soon, once I'm no longer ill.